Welcome to another episode of Inside Rangers Football. The regular season now over. The playoffs are up next. Smithson Valley closes out the regular season with a record of 9-1 on an 8-game winning streak and a perfect run through district play, going 7-0 after a 56-17 win over Seguin this past Friday. And Coach, quite a way for you to wrap things up with the regular season. Perfect run through district, a district championship. As you look at the way you were able to close out the regular season, what impressed you the most about Friday's performance by your team?
Well, I thought a couple of key, critical things. We didn't give them explosive plays, and particularly with their receiver, but also their running back. They'd been able to generate those against everyone. The one-play drive, or the short catch and run, or the deep ball, or the same kid returning kickoffs or punts for touchdowns. And we were able to stymie that and make them drive the football, which they were able to do at times. But no big plays. I thought that was big. And then we took care of the football. We're pretty steady on offense. Lurched at times, but pretty steady. Didn't turn the ball over. Got 3 takeaways. So if you can do those things, explosive plays and turnovers, you're usually going to win. And we were able to win Friday.
Again, 56 points for you, and the offense. I mean, the scoreboard says that you played very well, but you also found some unconventional ways to score as well, and that's been kind of a theme for your team this season. Right. In the offense being aided by special teams and defense being able to score themselves. When you're able to get those kind of scoring contributions outside the offense, what does it say about your team?
Well, you're usually going to win. I mean, you look at all the data and the studies that are out there. If you score on defense, you score on special teams, either one of those, you win the game a huge percentage of the time. You score on both of them, it's probably close to 100%. And we were able to do both last Friday night. Those were 2 of our big plays, 2 of our 3 big plays of the week. And then the offense was steady and took care of the ball and had a few big plays of their own. So it all added up to where we were able to win on senior night at home and close out district play undefeated.
And you look at the district itself and the 3 other playoff teams besides yourself, Seguin, Wagner, Canyon. I think about the play of your defense. You shut out Canyon. You held this high-powered Seguin offense to 17 points. A lot of that came in the second half. And Wagner in the district opener, very tough to stop that triple option offense, and you're able to kind of limit them, 13 points that night. 3 very different offensive styles against playoff teams. Your defense every time was up to the challenge.
Well, you have to be. Offenses are so all over the place in this era of football, and to say, well, we're going to get set up to stop the spread, or we're going to be set up to stop the option, or a balanced eye running game along with throwing like Seguin does. If everything's set up for just one of those, well, then you're going to be compromised when you play the others. And so to be diversified, well-rounded enough to adjust to those is something you aspire to. I don't know that we're all the way there yet, but we did what we had to do.
Yes, you did, and that was a 56-17 win over Seguin to wrap up the regular season. You heard Coach Hill say it. Smithson Valley made scoring plays, special teams, and defense, several on offense as well. So we have several plays to choose from. Coach Hill's narrowed them down to 3 plays and our plays of the week.
Yeah, let's go take a look. Our first play of the week is Braden Bafetus, scoring a touchdown. Braden, you can barely see him. He's on the other side of the quarterback there with his arrow. Scores on a play that he scored a few times this year on, but not really this way. The play didn't exactly go as scheduled, and you'll see that. But we get started. He's going to go on a little fullback reverse around behind the quarterback, and then he's going to go down the hash for a touchdown. I'm going to let you watch it as it unfolds. First, we bring our freshman wide receiver, Quentin Sampson, in motion. We hand that ball to him a lot when we do that. We fake it to him, and then we're through faking it to him. We fake to our tailback, Doug Lance, and then finally we pitch the ball back to Braden. So 2 fakes and a pitch. That play's supposed to go wide, but you can see their defensive ends up the field. TJ Hunt's got him engaged, but we can't get out here where we want to go. So Braden, being an instinctive player that he is, takes it underneath, makes a guy miss, and now he's going to end up scoring down the middle of the field. Get a nice block there from Colton Thomason, our big guard, and then another block from Ty Stone, our center, and then Braden is able to make the rest of them miss and outrun them to the end zone for a touchdown. Not how it normally goes, but we're glad it went well, and big touchdown for us on that end of the field. From behind, you see what I'm talking about. Here comes Quentin in motion. We fake it to him on the way by, and now we fake it to Doug up the middle, and now we pitch it to Braden going around the edge. There's that block we can't quite get around, so he just sticks his cleats in the grass and turns it up, makes it an inside running play. Colton gets his block, and then he makes the cut to run away, and Ty Stone seals off the last defender, and then it's a foot race to the end zone, one that Braden's able to win. Our next big play is a special teams play. You can see it's windy, so we're having to hold the ball down, but Clayton Amaya kicks that thing and hangs it up a long time into that wind, a 4-second hang time, and Tommy Elliott's going to go down and make a big play for us. You can see he got an arrow here, and he's navigating. They catch the ball, and they do this reverse return thing, and he's going to run it over to that guy, and there's always a question of who's got the ball. Tommy's very well trained in what to look for. He knows who's got the ball. And right at the mesh point, he doesn't chase ghosts. He chased the one with the ball, makes the hit, and then you're going to see the ball pop up in the air. He dislodges it from the guy. It looks like Braden Bafidis is going to pick it off out of the air right there, but Braden gets bumped. Now the ball's on the ground. Then the fun starts. Jackson Maynard, one of our defensive tackles who's on the kick coverage team. Jackson picks it up, makes like a running back, runs over a guy into the end zone 5 yards away, and we score a touchdown. Just a really neat special teams play. The result of paying attention in film and knowing where the ball's going and not falling for the tricky reverse fake that Seguin was so good at. From behind the kickoff return team, you can see it. The key to this thing is the height. That's a 4-second hang time Clay gives us into what was a real stiff wind last Friday night. By the time it comes down, we're on them pretty good. Now they start the zigzag reverse. They've had a lot of success with this. Is he going to keep it, or is he going to hand it to the guy? Is he going to fake it or give it? And right here you can see our guys are not fooled. And there's Tommy. Big hit. The ball's out. Looks like Braden's going to just pick it out of the air and run right in, but he gets bumped. Now the ball's on the ground, and there's Jackson bending over and grabbing that thing about the 7-8 yard line. And then him and the one guy that's left, he just kind of bulldozes him into the end zone, fumbles the ball, but he's well past the goal line when it happened. Our last big play is a defensive play. We're going to feature Nicholas Dudzikowski, one of our outside linebackers, a junior, had 2 interceptions the other night, 2 really fine plays, along with 7 tackles. On this one, that ball's going to stick to his hands like Velcro, and he's actually going to return it for a touchdown. He's showing blitz. Then he does blitz, and then you can see he elevates, mainly to knock the ball down as they try to throw short out to the left side. But the ball just sticks in his hands. He bobbles it a bit, picks it up. Next thing you know, he's got a clear sailing to the end zone for a touchdown. Just a well-designed, well-executed play on Nicholas Dudzikowski's part. From behind, you can see how it unfolds. Nicholas is showing blitz, and then he kind of backs out. No, I'm not blitzing. Well, no, yes, I am blitzing. And the quarterback tries to throw it through him, and that ball just hits his hand, juggles a bit, and he just I don't know how I'm not sure he can explain how he held on to it, but he did. And then it was just a matter of turning, and he kind of stumbled there, but just a matter of turning and running into the end zone for a big play on defense. And those are our plays of the week.
There you have it. So Braden Bafidis, Dudzikowski, Jackson Maynard all scoring this past Friday. And Coach, again, kind of highlighting Braden Bafidis for you a little bit. What a weapon he has been. He looks all of 5'4" out there, but plays like he's 7 feet tall. I mean, how valuable of a player has he been within your program?
Well, about as valuable as you can be, just finding ways to contribute. You know, you mentioned his size. He's not, not a big guy, but plays very big. And, whether he's running the ball, whether he's blocking, whether he's catching the ball, whether he's returning a punt, whether he's returning a kickoff or covering a kickoff. We ask him to wear a lot of hats, and he wears them all cheerfully and does a great job. When the ball's in his hand, he tends to make something happen.
Very dangerous in the open field, Braden Bafidis. He and the Rangers again 9-1 with the regular season now in the books. Up next, the postseason and the opening opponents in the playoffs, Cedar Park and the Timberwolves. We'll preview that game coming up next. Back with more Inside Rangers football in just a moment.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. All for the Rangers. Stand up and holler!
Ow! No, what's wrong? I really hurt my leg. That's horrible. Wait, Elle's dad sells insurance. Maybe he can help.
I wish he could, but...
My dad has his life insurance with Jeremy Fuller State Farm Insurance.
Yes, but...
My mom has her homeowner's policy with Jeremy Fuller State Farm Insurance also.
I know my uncle says he only trusts Jeremy Fuller State Farm with his auto insurance needs.
Guys, wait! We do so many great coverages, but just not cheerleader legs.
Hey, that's okay. It's all better now. Let's start from the top, but with a little change.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. All for Jeremy Fuller State Farm Insurance. Stand up and holler!
Yay!
Fisher's Neighborhood Market is the only stop you need before and after game time. Get everything you need, plus a whole lot of things, well, you just want. Fisher's Neighborhood Market. Food, fuel, fun.
This week in Rangers trivia, Friday's game against Cedar Park marks Smithson Valley's 27th playoff appearance and Larry Hill's 30 years as head coach. Of their previous 73 playoff games, how many have the Rangers won? Is the answer A, 40, B, 44, or C, 47? The answer is C, 47. Smithson Valley's all-time playoff winning percentage under Larry Hill is 64%, including a first-round record of 20-6. The Rangers look to improve upon that record when they host the Timberwolves this Friday at Ranger Stadium. All right, so off of Rangers trivia and now to the playoffs coming up Friday right here at Ranger Stadium. Smithson Valley hosting Cedar Park and the Timberwolves. Don't be fooled by the record. Cedar Park 4-6, but they went 4-3 in or 3-4, beg your pardon, in a very tough district. And you kind of look, Coach, they started the year 1-5, and then they won 3 straight games going into the finale, played a very good Georgetown team to close out the regular season. And even then, that final score not really indicative of how competitive the game was. Right. The records, the final from Friday, those are all things that you take with a grain of salt.
Well, no doubt. Cedar Park has a tremendous reputation, a very proud tradition, has won a state championship at this level 2 different times, played in the finals another time or two, have had deep playoff runs. I think 2 years ago they were in the finals. Last year they were in the 3rd round. And much like Smithson Valley in the sense their non-district scheduling, they played some 6A heavyweights that have won their district, going to play a long time in the 6A playoffs, and then jump in that league with A&M Consolidated. Quarterfinalist from a year ago. College Station lost in overtime of the state championship game a year ago. Georgetown, you just mentioned. So, you know, they go 4-3 in district, losing to those 3 and then those 3 non-district games. So we know what we're up against. Our kids are smart. You stick the tape on, and they're as good as probably anybody you would play. If you're fortunate enough to keep advancing, they're probably as good as anybody you're going to play in the playoffs.
And Coach, you know, we were breaking down these offenses in the district that you've been able to limit. You know, Wagner, Canyon, Seguin. You look at Cedar Park, and what I see, at least based on numbers, is a lot of balance. They don't really favor the pass or the run, more so one over the other. As you prepare for a team that likes to attack you both on the ground and through the air, what is your approach have to be defensively?
Well, we've got to be well balanced ourselves. You know, we can't just load up to stop the run or the pass. The quarterback is, like a lot of them these days, very much a dual threat, both in the quarterback run game and throwing the football. But then also when the play breaks down, like so many we've played, you know, now the fun starts. You know, he escapes and then finds somebody open up the field or runs for positive yardage himself. And so we'll have to play very solid defense, but not really pay 100% of attention to really any one thing.
What I noticed too when looking at the defense, the numbers there may be the most impressive when looking at the Timberwolves. 52 tackles for loss, 25 sacks, 20 turnovers in a 10-game regular season. Those numbers certainly jump off the page. How do they create so much havoc defensively?
Well, they're real well trained on what they do. You know, 3-down defense, have been for a long time. We've got a really strong, what we call a TNT. They're front 3 guys in there, 3-4. Big, strong kids play into the offensive linemen, kind of bench press them and toss them to one side or the other, make plays. Their inside linebackers are very active. And their outside linebackers are runners and hitters. They're as good a defense as we've played all year, that's very evident. And you mentioned people's inability to really score a lot on them.
Yeah, and here's something else about the game coming up, special teams. You and I talk a lot about your return game, Kyler Clark, Braden Bafidis, who we highlighted in our last segment, Clayton Amaya and his ability to change field position, punts and kickoffs, and certainly his ability to score, as a place kicker as well. Just how paramount will winning special teams be in a game like this?
Well, it'll be real big, because, you're not going to have a decided edge on offense or defense. And, it may come down to a return or a big kick or a big block kick. And, we're going to have to be ready to make some plays there as well. And, of course, Cedar Park is, as we suspected, very good in the kicking game themselves. So just saying we want an edge there doesn't get it done. We're going to have to perform.
Do the intangibles behind winning a game change or increase from the postseason compared to regular season play?
Well, it's different. I mean, obviously there's no room for error. Each week the field gets cut in half. So, and there's no bad teams. Everybody that's here is here for a reason, particularly in a league like Cedar Park plays in. There's a couple of really good teams that aren't going to make it or haven't made it. And then that and their proud tradition of advancing deep in the playoffs. We're not going to get a team that's going to come in here and not be ready.
Again, Smithson Valley taking on Cedar Park. It is the first round of the playoffs, and we're going to have it for you right here on the Rangers Network. Kickoff from Ranger Stadium is at 7 o'clock. Coach, best of luck.
Thank you, Brant.
Smithson Valley, Cedar Park coming up Friday. That's going to wrap up this week's show. For Coach Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.